Ilse Hanna from Austria, the bridge. I would like to put a question to Ms. Dowsett. Do you feel that women are represented in a just way in this conference, also in your church organization, and in view of the fact that women are doing a lot for mission, maybe not on top, but lower levels? And no, that's all. Yeah, can there be done anything about it to get it more equitable?
I think it depends what you're looking for. I think just to say there should be equal numbers, for example, is really rather silly. Of course, in the world church, I think it is true to say that as practicing Christians, women outnumber men today. And I think that is not reflected numerically this week. I would agree with that. The different delegations chose their own delegation, and they were given guidelines which included that there should be at least 40% of their delegation should be female. Now, I think some delegations observed that and some did not. And there were quite a lot of different choices. You can't insist that if you don't meet those criteria, you can't come. They had different reasons for choosing the delegations that they did. There were other criteria, of course, that they wanted people who would be able, in turn, to be able to influence their own networks and take the fruit of this conference and of the study process back into their situations. I would say that I became a, if you like, professional missionary 42 years ago. And I have seen a huge change in those 42 years. And sometimes I think we lose sight of how much change there has been and how many areas in which women now have much more of a vocal role in church decision-making and in policy decisions and things like that. I don't think, actually, that it's just a question of whether you have people who are in your organizational decision-making structure. I think that often women have huge influence, but in other ways. And to me, the important thing is that not that women and men should engage in some kind of power struggle. That is ungodly for men and women. But can we work together side by side and affirm each other and release each other for the full use of the gifts that God has given to us? I am very grateful for the men in my Christian life who have opened doors for me as a woman. And usually it has been, in the past, men who have had to open those doors. Maybe some of the men here have opportunity to open doors for others. But then my responsibility as a woman, with many privileges of doors that have been opened, is to encourage my brothers and sisters to open doors for each other, not in competition, but in order that whether you're male or female, you may have the fullest possible expression of using the gifts that you've got. And in some of our traditions, there are still certain areas of ministry that are off limits for women. I don't want to argue about that. That's for those traditions to decide. But if you're a woman and you think you are a victim, that is not true. There are ways in which, under God, you can find fulfillment and ministry, whether you are men or women.
I've already asked one question. Could I ask another?
Only if you do it in the microphone.
I've already asked one question. I hope you don't mind me asking another one. Could I ask Archbishop Conti how badly he thinks the Catholic missionary effort has been damaged by the appalling sexual scandals that have affected your church in recent months, recent years?
To be truthful, I don't know. I think it's bound to have been affected. A church has lost credibility. I don't think that the judgments are always entirely fair about the degree to which the church has been as responsible as an institution, as is sometimes said. But it's not the day when we can easily defend that position, or, what shall we say, give evidence to what I've just stated, and in a sense I'm sticking my neck out, simply because we will get the reaction from those who have been abused, and there are far too many of them. Even one would not be acceptable. And therefore we just have patiently to say, we acknowledge that those who should have known better, who were given positions of trust within the Catholic Church, whether as priests or religious or lay people, have abused their position, have abused the trust placed upon them, and we're all appalled by that, saddened by it, and apologetic for it. And we just have to wait until, it seems to me, that we can make a better decision as to the full impact of it on the credibility of the Church's mission. What I can assure you of, and assure everyone here, is that it's unlikely to happen again with the stringent safeguarding we've put in place.